Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Tesla. It is time for another update, and on the long time frame we still have a couple of scenarios possible even on this very large picture, but mainly we have been tracking and labeling this idea of a double 1-2-1-2 setup that has occurred, or technically could still be occurring, at least this secondary wave 2, where in the red scenario we could be looking at an A wave down, an overshooting wave B, and now a C wave to the downside that would reset this wave 2, and then we would have another chance at starting a larger third wave to the upside. But there is also the possibility, of course, that we have already bottomed and that we already may be in the next 5-wave move to the upside, but unfortunately this actual movement cannot be the third wave itself. It can either be another wave 1 developing, and then we would have an additional 1-2 setup in this area that could be a very bullish interpretation and could provide an acceptable support area for an entry for the longer time frame. But that is one of the ways it could develop, because technically this could really be a different count, where instead of having what we have here in orange as a double 1-2 setup, it could be that this is the wave 1, here a wave 2, then this would develop as the third wave to the upside, making this the internal 5th wave instead of being a wave 1, where then we would have a 1-2-3 complete, and then we would be looking for support here in a 4th wave. And as you may notice, within the red scenario we would actually be building or preparing the beginning of an internal wave 3, which could have much more bullish implications than the idea of a 1-2-3, 4th and a 5 forming in this area. Now, we cannot decide ourselves which pattern will end up playing out. The structure will speak for itself, and unfortunately, since we are tracking a diagonal structure in this area, it cannot be the wave 3. Now, regardless, within this structure we have so far built a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, and now we are tracking the third wave to the upside, which we expect to reach an ideal target at the 138.2% extension at around the $600 level. Now, since we have pushed already so far within the initial wave A to the upside, we can be looking at even higher targets, because the ideal target for the wave C to follow is the 100% extension at the $750 level instead. And based on what has built up so far, it seems quite realistic to me, and I find it in good odds that we may even surpass that 100% extension within this internal wave C. And now we can discuss a little bit the internal structure, and I will bring out the internal counts, which I have adjusted slightly. And in the previous videos we were still looking for a larger wave 1 to have a chance to build an impulse here within this wave C. Unfortunately, it seems to be developing as an ending diagonal, and that is not necessarily good, even though it is more probable to develop now, since we have surpassed the 78.6% retracement level in red. We have been struggling a little bit, and not even a little, but we have been struggling to break both resistance and support at the 61.8% retracement, but afterwards we had a pretty good shot and broke even the 78.6% retracement pretty quickly. Now, what I'm tracking in this C wave to the upside is a wave 1 up here, a wave 2 down somewhere in this area. Now this is the actual bottom, so I believe tracking the wave 2 from this area makes sense, and then I would be looking for a third wave to the upside, and then still another 4th and a 5th, but they all would end up developing within an ABC structure. Now, so far within this A wave, I am still open on where it starts and where it ends, because technically an A wave could be a 5-wave move, it could be a 3-wave move, and even if it is a 5-wave move, it could end up being a diagonal structure where each of the internal waves again would be an ABC pattern, or it could be an impulse. And I am looking for the ideal target for the general wave 3 to the upside to guide me a little. Now, such a target is at the 138.2% extension, the $570 level. And for that to reach within this ABC structure, it could play out in a number of different ways. Now, technically, I could even consider that this was the A wave up. Here we had the B wave down, and now we are in the C wave to the upside. And this is what we will mainly track for now, and the reason is that this would be the first to invalidate. It could end up really being that it builds an A wave and it could already be complete, and we would have now a pretty deep retracement within a wave B, and then we could be in the C wave to the upside to reach the 540, was it? Yeah, $570 level. Now, the way it actually ends up playing, we will need to be patient and track very closely what is happening. Now, for the red scenario, the bearish scenario, we did decrease the likelihood of it happening quite significantly by breaking above the 78.6% retracement, but it remains possible as long as we stay below this wave B top. And yeah, breaking above this level would actually make me discard that interpretation and instead be tracking mainly the white scenario as long as it works out and the support zones hold, and not really be looking forward for a reset within this wave 2 in that case. Now internally we can track a little what we have within this wave C to the upside, and as I was saying, we are tracking a diagonal structure, and here we have an ABC pattern developed. We also have an ABC pattern that we are tracking here, and within this wave C I am looking for a 5-wave structure, where so far I could argue that the internal movement that I am focused on the most right now would be where we have here a 1, 2. This has developed as a 3rd wave up, and now I'm looking for a 4th wave correction in this area. And for this to work out, it would have to hold support for such a wave 4. And in this case, it is between the $431 all the way down to the $391 level. And as long as we stay above this 50% retracement, I am looking with decent likelihood still for continuation to the upside, building an even larger internal wave 3. Now, if it fails, we could be looking for different counts and different interpretations, but I might rather be inclined to thinking, okay, maybe something very different is going on, and this is some sort of an A wave complete, and I would be looking for a B wave down to have this larger wave 3 build within such an ABC structure to the upside. And in some cases, I might even move the wave to bottom here. It might make more sense in some interpretations where, basically this would be an ABC pattern that has developed, or rather, this is an ABC that could make sense. But a general area of support would start, let's say, and let's use the blue interpretation for this. The general area of support would start at the $390 level, and I would allow it even below the 78.6% retracement in this case of this retracement, and instead I would draw it all the way down to the very bottom of this initial wave 2, where I would allow for the retracement to work out as low as the $307 level before I would really consider a very high likelihood that this movement to the upside in the wave 3 is going to fail. Now, I find it personally a lot more likely for this wave C to still work out and continue to the upside. Maybe, I mean, it should work within an impulse in this area at least, but if not, we can still track it as an ending diagonal within the wave C, where this could be a 1, this could be a 2, this could be a 3rd, and then within the wave 4 we could see a deeper retracement. But right now I am focused on this area that we have here on the chart, and if we fail to hold it, once again the probabilities shift to a different count, probably something like an ABC movement to the upside in this area. But we will track that closely, and once we get the fallback, if it fails, we will look for the initial 5-wave structure that could provide more reliability in continuation to the upside in this uptrend in the supposed wave C. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.